They were brothers, but inheritance turned them into enemies. One wanted more land, the other more power. Their father's last wish? Forgotten, and the village watched as their family crumbled. What would you do if your own family was torn apart by inheritance? In a small Igbo village, two brothers, Kelechi and Obina, were known for their hard work. Their father, Nwosu, was a wealthy farmer who owned large farmlands. When he died, he left behind a big inheritance. But instead of coming together, the brothers let greed and pride tear them apart. This story matters because it teaches us the value of unity. Many families and communities have been destroyed because of greed, pride, and division. People stop talking. Love tends to hate. But what if we chose love over wealth? Let's find out. Nwosu was an old man who had worked hard all his life. He had two sons, Kelechi and Obina. He raised them with love and taught them the value of hard work. When he fell sick, he called them to his bedside. "My sons," he said weakly, "I have worked hard to build this land. I want you to share it peacefully and continue our family's legacy." The brothers nodded, but in their hearts, each wanted the bigger portion. When Nwosu died, the village mourned, but the brothers were only thinking about their inheritance. They sat before the elders as the will was read. Nwosu had divided everything equally, but that was not enough for them. Each believed he deserved more. At first, Kelechi and Obina tried to remain respectful, but soon, arguments started. "This part of the land has more palm trees," Obina complained, "but yours has a river, which is more valuable," Kelechi argued. The village elders tried to mediate, but the brothers refused to listen. They built a fence between their lands, refusing to share resources. Once they had worked together to plant and harvest, but now they did everything separately. The division affected their farming. Kelechi's land had more palm trees, but lacked enough water. Obina had water, but his crops suffered without proper care. Instead of helping each other, they struggled in silence. The first year after the division was difficult. At first, the brothers were happy, thinking they had control over their lands. But soon, disaster struck. A terrible drought came, drying up the river. Obina had no water for his crops. Meanwhile, Kelechi's palm trees produced fewer fruits because of the harsh sun. The brothers needed each other, but pride kept them apart. Villagers shook their heads in disappointment. If only they worked together, they could survive this drought, an old woman muttered. But the brothers ignored everyone, determined to prove they could do it alone. One evening, Kelechi sat under a tree, staring at his dry land. Hunger gnawed at his stomach. He thought of his brother's river and how they used to share. On the other side, Obina looked at his withering crops and remembered how Kelechi's palm trees had once provided them oil. Both realized they had made a mistake, but neither wanted to be the first to speak. "I won't beg him," Kelechi thought. "He should come to me first," Obina told himself. But nature was not on their side. The drought worsened, and they knew they could not survive alone. One day, an old village elder, Papa Ikena, visited them. He watched as they struggled separately and shook his head. "Come with me," he told them. He led them to an abandoned piece of land near their farm. The soil was rich, but nothing grew. "This land is like your hearts," he said. "Separate, you are weak, but together, you will be strong." The brothers looked at each other. They knew the elder was right, but pride still held them back. That night, Obina had a dream. He saw their father standing beside the fence they had built. "Tear this down," Nwosu said. "It is not land that makes a man rich, but his family." The next morning, Obina took a deep breath and walked toward the fence. Kelechi stood on the other side, watching. Without a word, Obina began removing the wooden planks. Kelechi hesitated, then joined him. The villagers watched in amazement. "They have finally learned," a woman said. For the first time in years, the brothers walked together again. With the face gone, Kelechi and Obinna shared resources once more. Obinna's river watered both their lands, and Kelechi's palm trees provided oil for both families. Their crops flourished, and soon they had more than enough food. One day, a traveler came to the village, looking to buy palm oil and yams in bulk. "I will pay a good price," he said. Because the brothers had worked together, they had more than enough to sell. That year, they made more wealth than they had ever imagined, not from dividing their land, but from uniting their efforts. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Obinna turned to Kelechi. "I was foolish," he admitted. Kelechi nodded. "So was I." They had almost lost everything because of greed and pride, but in the end, they learned that family and unity were more important than wealth. From that day, they taught their children never to let greed divide them. The village elders used their story as a lesson for others. Greed and pride can destroy families, but unity and love create true wealth. Have you ever let pride or misunderstanding come between you and someone you love? What did it take to rebuild that bond? Tell us in the comments. Your words might inspire someone else. What would you do if your sibling became your enemy over land? Let us know below. Share this story with someone who needs to hear the value of unity today. New powerful African stories drop every week right here on this channel. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you for watching. Until next time, choose unity, choose love.